So you've been doing this for 14 years.
14 years. Yep. Yes, it's had its highs and lows. Like creativity isn't consistent. It it's a wave. It comes and it goes. There's definitely times where I'm like, oh my God, I fucking suck. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I'll have like a 2-week holiday and I'll be like, I'm back. I'm ready.
Like
I love.
reset.
It's usually around Christmas time. So it's like the week before Christmas, I've just melted because, everyone wants to get tattooed before they go on holidays. And it's like, I'll say yes to everything. And then I'm just like super burnt out. And I'm like, why am I so fucking tired? And then I'll have a 2-week Christmas holiday break and I'll come back and I'm like hungry. Like, let's go again. I'm so ready for this.
I heard a thing that when you were doing your art degree though, you actually failed it.
Oh, yeah. So like in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, my art teacher fucking hated me. And it's funny because he hated my older brother. My older brother's a bit of a cheeky cunt. And so that fell onto me. So I came through the ropes and I just got crucified. It was so rough. And so, yeah, he hated me, failed me. And then, like, a few years ago, he'd messaged me on Facebook, like, asking for a tattoo. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Come on down. Yeah, he never followed through, though.
He never did?
Nah. I was like, yeah, come on. Oh, no, I'll happily tattoo you, doll. Come on down.
And he never did it?
Never did.
Should reach back out again. Do you know his name?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we won't drop the name.
Yeah.
But how did that feel though? Did it like...
At first it made me really angry. I was really pissed off. I was like, fuck you. And then I was like, I could use this to my advantage right now. Like, yeah, come on down. Let's go. I'll tattoo you.
No. When he did fail you, like back when you
dude, fucking mortifying. Because I was like a teenager. I didn't know like what I wanted to do with my life. And at that stage, like I was close to graduating and everyone knew what they wanted to do and had their whole lives figured out. And I was like, I can't find fucking matching socks, doll. Like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Like, it was a really stressful time for me. And then I was like, well, I'm good at art. And then I failed at art. So I was like, oh, shit. I don't really know what I'm good at. So I did a bit of everything. So I was honestly dancing, drawing, singing. I did a bit of acting there for a while. I've done it all. And then tattooing was just an accident. So I was like studying interior design, doing that, and then drawing heaps while I was studying. And so, I don't know, I just kind of like couldn't get away from it. I'm going to start. Are you ready? Yeah, okay. And then one of my friends was a tattoo artist and she was traveling around Europe and had invited me. She'd actually like asked me for years to like do it. I was like, ew, no way. I'm scared of needles and blood and, everything. So I was just like, no. And then we traveled Europe and she did all these conventions and she like looked at me and she's like, when do you start? I was like, fucking Monday when we get back, doll. So I quit my job and then I became a tattoo artist.
So when you were at the conventions, were you just trying?
I was just drinking bulk piss. And I was just like, I was immersed in the culture. And I was in love because, like, to me, tattooing was, like, super scary back then. It was, like, criminals and, bad people. And so I was like, oh, my God, tattooing's terrifying. No way. And then it was just, like, a whole different perspective for me. It's, like, art. And it's, like, the tattoo community is, like, it's so accepting. Like, everyone is accepted. It's, like, the most eclectic, crazy people that, like, tattoo their eyeballs to, like, cute little fine lines. It's, like, everyone is welcome and everyone is accepted. And it's just like, I fell in love with that. It was like everyone could just be who they truly fucking wanted to be. And at that time, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. And I felt safe. And that's sort of like what drew me in. And then I was just like hooked. I was like in. I was like, let's fucking go. And it feels like I've been doing it for like 3 weeks. When I say like 14 years or 13 years, I'm like, where did that time go? It's been so exciting.
Do you think it's a thing, like you said there, that I guess a lot of people that get all these tattoos and like get stuff like their eyeballs and stuff tattooed and certain piercings are looked at by a lot of people as kind of being like this outcast, different kind of way of being and living. But then because of that, all the people that are actually involved in that world feel more connected because of that? Like because they are viewed by a lot of other people as being different? Like do you think like that seeming different almost makes them like closer knit community of people?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they do it initially as like a fuck you to society. It's like they've 9 times out of 10 had like a traumatic life or upbringing, and it's like no one's ever really nurtured them or loved them for who they are. So it's like they reclaim their sense of self and their identity by, you know, getting tattooed or piercings and kind of altering their body. It's like this is who I want to be, and you're not going to tell me, because, you know, years ago tattoos were like so taboo, and, you know, it was like an underworld, and everyone was sort of like scared of it. And now it's like so socially accepted, and it's kind of rare to spot the people that don't have tattoos.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a self-expression, and in that, yeah, you're right, you find your people. It's like, oh, I love.
Have you felt over the last 14 years the difference in people that you've dealt with? Like saying how it used to be a more taboo thing, where now it's like every single person almost has them. Like how's that been, like seeing the shift in who actually gets tattoos and why they get tattoos?
Yeah, it's funny. I couldn't like I can't describe like my niche market, because I literally tattoo everyone. I tattoo older ladies, older men, younger. It's like every sort of genre, every kind of career path. But like in the beginning, when I was learning to tattoo, it was, you know, the riff-raff, and I was tattooing for free for like the first 6 months. So it was just like, yeah, come on, let's go get tattooed, and, you know, she'll do it for free. So it was dicey back then, whereas now, because
how good's doing something though that much that you love it and you want it to be a thing that you will do it for free?
Oh, 100%. I kind of do that with everything. If I love something and I want to get good at it, I will offer that service for free, or I'll just like do it until like it takes off. Yeah, I've always sort of been like that.
That's kind of how it should be. I think a lot of people don't accept that it's like they try and do something for the money, not for the actual love of it. It's like you'll never be the best at something you don't actually love.
Yes.
So it's like if you do it because you generally love it, you'll probably get that good at it that someone will eventually pay you to do it.
Yeah, there is a fine line. So like in the beginning, it was really hard for me to value myself and understand my worth. So I was basically just told what I was to charge, and this is what it is, which made it really easy. And then at the end of it, someone would like handle that, and then I would just get paid a wage. So it was really hard when I went out on my own to like price myself, know my worth, and then like ask for it. Because I honestly would tattoo every day for free because I love it so much. But I got bills, man. I got bills to pay, and these bitches don't pay themselves. So I do have to charge for my art. So it's always been this inner conflict where I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry, but like, do you mind paying me? And they're like, yes, you fucking idiot. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't even know if I'm worth it. But like, thank you. That's super nice.
It creates that conflict you have in yourself.
Yeah, it's like that.
Doubting your art.
I know.
And but I always find it tricky when, like I found this whenever you do a profession which is seen as your art, like you obviously do tattooing, I used to race bikes, I've got friends that are artists, I've got friends that are fighters, like that's your art, that's your skill.
Yeah.
And when you put a value on that, it kind of dilutes what you're doing. Like you didn't start drawing because you wanted to make money, you did it because you enjoyed it. And then once you started getting better at it and then adding tattooing into it, it's like, okay, well, what's this worth to a dollar figure now?
Yeah.
And that always dilutes the feeling it gives you, because you're like, now I'm doing it for money and not just for the passion of actually loving it.
Yeah.
And other people's value, because they'll be like, I think it's worth this. And you're like, well, I think it's worth this. It's like, what is it actually worth then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How did you go from doing free tattoos for everyone and not wanting to accept money to then being rated the best tattoo artist on the Gold Coast and tattooing people like, who have you tattooed? Like Jackson O'Doherty, Troy Candy, who are some other guys? Or like semi-big influencer people that you would have done.
Oh, it's pretty crazy.
Harry Bing.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, what was your question? How do I go from not charging to charging?
How do you go from not charging to then being seen as the best on the Gold Coast, along with doing like very high?
Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been a long, long journey. It's been a lot of controlling relationships. So I never really knew my worth, and I allowed others to tell me my value. And in relationships, I was never really valued. You know, that was my fault. Like, I allowed that because I didn't know what I was worth. So I was relying on others to tell me. And so I would have partners tell me what to charge for tattooing, because it was like a, fuck yeah, like you charge this and then I can get that out of it. So I've always been very accommodating.
When you say partners, you mean partners in like relationships?
Yeah, relationships. Like,
how do they know what to charge?
well, that's what I mean. It's so crazy that I had literally no... I was a weak little bitch. I was a weak little bitch my whole entire fucking life. I've only just come into my own, and like, I fucking love myself now, and I'll never let anyone like put me down or stand over me ever again. But for so long, like, I had no self-worth. I had no self-respect. I didn't love myself. I just let everyone treat me like shit, tell me what I should do, who I should be friends with, what I can and can't wear. It was like, I've only ever been in really controlling relationships. And I think that's why now I want to be single for the rest of my life, or until I figure out how to be in a relationship. But yeah, they would legitimately tell me, this is what you should charge for your tattoo. And I was like, oh, I don't know, it's a bit scary. And like, they would get really angry at me if I didn't. And so I would be like, okay, sure. And then if I had them backing me, that's how I started. So I literally charged myself out what my partner thought I was worth. It was fucking crazy. Because when I think about it, they don't know anything about tattooing or art. So yeah, that's how I ended up charging. I think it's because they just benefited from it. Because
they're like, if you make more money, you're going to be more money
yeah.
for a relationship.
Yeah.
Make both our lives better.
Yeah.
What was the turning point that made you go, hey, I'm sick of being this person. I want to be the person I know I can be?
There was this like inner dialogue, this constant conflict every fucking day of just me knowing that my situation was not happy or healthy. So like, even though I get comfortable and I sit in situations for far too long, the universe, or like call it whatever you will, always like kicks me up the asshole and gets me moving. So I will like be like, yeah, cool, I'm settled, I'm really comfortable, I'm happy this way. And then the universe comes along with this big giant boot and like sticks it up my butthole and then jogs on. So it's like, things happen in my life where
what was the boot?
The boot? Oh, which one? I've had so many, Joel.
I feel like the big, like...
The steel cap?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, I have children, so I was to be married. And I want to say that, like, I fully respect the father of my children. We get along really well now. But there was times that we didn't, you know, like, obviously, if we did, we would still be together. And so, like, we grew up together in that relationship. Like, we went in as children and we left as, like, traumatized adults, you know? Like, we've definitely got some trauma. Like, when you're in an unhealthy relationship, you both bring out the worst in each other. And so it was just such a toxic, volatile relationship, and I'd lost completely my fucking identity. I didn't know who I was. And, like, you know, when you become a mom, you're a mom. And, like, I'm so content. I love being a mom. But you lose yourself, like, who you were before. You're like, oh, my God. Like, it's, like, a whole different way of living. And so, like, navigating becoming a mom and still being a partner and still having a career and all these things going on around me, I did just kind of have a little bit of a midlife crisis where it was just like I reevaluated everything. It was COVID. COVID happened, and to be honest, I fucking loved it because I was non-essential, so I didn't have a job. So I was just like at home with my kids, like I loved it. It was like a forced vacation. But then we had to go back to work. And so after COVID, I kind of was just like, fuck, we could literally all die tomorrow. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so I was actually in therapy. And my therapist and I, like, you know, it was always just like cute stuff. Like, how can I love myself? And then we started getting real deep. It was like, no, how can I like change my whole entire fucking being so I'm genuinely happy? And it started with my relationships. So I had to like do the fucking work. I had to look at my relationship for what it was. It was toxic and it was unhealthy. And I had to make a decision to set really firm boundaries and when I did that, it was like the scariest thing I've ever done because I've always just let people walk all over me. So setting boundaries was really fucking hard for me because I'm like a massive people pleaser. So setting boundaries really kicked off my relationship. Kind of broke down, but it was really scary because I was like, no, I'm digging my heels in. Like,
do you remember when you said you had like the therapist made you realize the relationship? Do you remember what they said?
Yeah.
That made you kind of really see it from a different perspective?
Yeah, so like I can speak about this freely because me and my ex talk about this and we know both where we went wrong.
Yeah.
But like we went together. We were doing couples therapy together. And it was great for 6 months. And then he just like stopped wanting to go. He's like, I'm not really benefiting from it. Like I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, hey, for me, for us, for our family, I would love if you would keep it up. You know, like I just feel like we're growing so much and like we're learning how to communicate and it's just like I don't see anything wrong with this. And he just refused. He's like, nah, I don't want to go anymore. And like to me, I was like shattered. I was like, this is something that's helping our relationship and you can't be fucked to go. And I was just like, nah, that's not it for me. And so I got really honest with the therapist and I was like, this is actually like the relationship. So because I wanted my relationship so fucking bad, I wanted my family together, like it wasn't an easy breakup. I allowed him to talk shit about me for 6 months in therapy. I was like, whatever he needs to say to get off his chest so I can take it on board, so I can change everything about me to make him happy, I'll fucking do it because I want my relationship. So for 6 months he talked shit about me and told me everything that I did wrong. So I changed it and I worked on it and I just did everything to make him happy. And then we were still fucking miserable. Like we were still fighting. I was like, how are we in this position when I have literally done everything that you wanted and it's still not enough? And so I got real in therapy and I was like, I'm fucking miserable. I'm not happy. I've lost who I am. And it was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he looked at me and he's like, we have work to do, you know? And like, I've been going for 3 years and I'll be going for the rest of my fucking life. Like every time I go, I leave with such a different perspective on life. Like my therapist is a holistic therapist. So it's not just like conventional therapy where it's like, so what happened in your childhood? It's like, no, like go back and sit with yourself as a small child. And just like, for me, I always feel really alone. Like, I think that's why I've always been in relationships because my fear is being alone. And it's crazy because I've never felt more alone than when I'm in relationships. Because I get into these relationships with people that don't value me and they don't see me for who I truly fucking am. So I've never felt more alone than when I'm in a fucking relationship. And now that I'm 100% by myself single, I'm fucking great. Yeah. Like, I don't have anxiety anymore. Like, my days are filled with love and laughter. And it's just like happy rainbows and fucking butterflies everywhere. But yeah, it's from doing the deep work. So like, he makes me kind of like visualize myself. And I'm always like a little girl and I'm in a dark room and I'm scared. So I just go and sit with myself. And like, for me, like I've always felt so alone and I've never felt like anyone has truly understood me. And no one's ever like really supported me. Like I've had to do everything on my own and fucking scared. Like I'm always scared. Everything that I do.
Even from your parents?
Well, like, yeah, they love me, but I'm like a bit of a black sheep. So I kind of go against the grain. And they're very like, I guess like traditional. So sometimes I do things and they're just like, what? You know, like I expect them to not understand the moves that I make based on, you know, their upbringings and their beliefs and like, you know, it's such a new world we live in now. I put myself out on the internet, like very honestly, and I feel like my family don't do that. They like to keep everything like to themselves, which is fine. Yeah. You know, it's like...
Do you find this? I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I've been talking to people that are very authentically them.
Yeah.
And we always talk about how in society that authenticity is this amazing thing that everyone needs to be, and you need to be authentic and it'll
Yeah.
attract the people, which I fully agree with.
Yeah.
But then every time someone is authentic and actually be...
Oh, yeah, they get shit on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you promote this idea, but then when it actually comes to practice,
Yeah.
you don't want it because it's a direct reflection of you not being authentic.
Yeah.
And
I've danced along that line and I've come to the conclusion. So like becoming authentically me has been the most terrifying experience of my life. Putting yourself out there is terrifying because everyone wants to be loved. And me being a people pleaser, if someone thinks I'm a fucking idiot, like that's gonna hurt my soul. But at the same time, if I'm not being myself, that's gonna hurt my fucking soul. So it's like they're gonna love you or hate you, and it's if you truly are who you are and you love who you are, it doesn't actually fucking matter. You know, I see it as if like if they're not paying my bills, like their opinions don't fucking matter to me, honestly. And when people like shoot me down, it makes really good content. So I kind of like it's a win-win for me. I use it as fuel. So like nothing can break me, nothing can take me down now.
It's funny when I look at hate comments or people stirring me up or something, and I
Yeah.
just actually, it's kind of, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but it makes me happy because I know it's engagement.
Yeah.
And I know if I'm pushing a good message,
Yeah.
it's like, you're saying something that carries no weight because I don't, like obviously, if everyone's like, this is shit content or this is really bad, like,
Yeah.
at some point you've got to kind of look at yourself and go, maybe it's me. But if it's a few people and then like the majority is positive, you go, oh, okay, like you actually just don't get what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But I always just like stir people up and try and have fun with that. Like I never try and get angry at people that are writing hate comments because I feel sorry for them. Like,
Yeah.
I generally feel sorry for someone that will go on the internet, write something mean and press post. Like you have to go through a process.
Isn't that crazy?
To put hate out there
Yeah.
online. And then they do it. Heaps of people do it.
But the thing is like once they've done that, they don't feel better about themselves.
No.
Like putting hate out, like the way people see you is a reflection of themselves. Mm-hmm. The way that you react is a reflection of you. It's like if you're unbothered, it's so because you're so content with who you are. If they have to go out of their way to try and ruin your day, it's actually taking so much of their fucking energy to do that. Imagine if they did that into like working on themselves. Like redirect that energy that you're about to project and like put it back into you because you're going to benefit from that. You know, like I love everyone and I've been shit on for that. Like I've worked with people in the past and it irks them. It really bothers people.
Because you love everyone.
How like optimistic I am and how I genuinely fucking love everyone. Like I can see the good in anyone. It's so easy for me to see the good in people. Even when someone like doesn't like me, like it's not my business, really. The way you think about me is actually none of my fucking gosh darn business.
Yeah, your opinion of me isn't my business.
Yeah. But for so long it did. I definitely carried the weight of what people thought of me. It was extremely crippling. It stifled like any ounce of growth that I was trying to make. And so just kind of going back, I guess when I did leave that relationship, that's when my fucking life took off. Because I didn't have anyone telling me like how to live my life. I was just living it. And it was really fucking terrifying because I felt like an unsupervised adult in the world. I was like, am I allowed to do this? Like staying up late, like scrolling on my phone. Because like in my relationship, I wasn't allowed to like be on my phone. Which like I can understand why. But at the same time, like it was just...
But you're allowed to do whatever you want.
I know, but I didn't know that.
I was going to say, if the person doesn't like you doing it...
Yeah.
It's like you said, once someone starts telling you what you can and you can't do...
Yeah.
And you mentioned before we were recording how this ex-partner said you couldn't talk to certain people, you couldn't do certain things.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one has that control over you.
Yeah, but the thing is like, that's my fault. Because I allowed
it to happen,
I allowed that. I didn't know that I had a choice. And that choice was to choose me. And that's when I was talking about setting those really firm boundaries. So one of the boundaries was like around my phone. It's like, you know what? No, you can't go through my phone. Not that I had anything to hide ever, but it was like when they would go through my phone, they would always find something, you know, just like anything.
But
like
it doesn't actually mean something.
like it had no weight to it, but it's like
something. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You can be like, oh my god, why did that guy send you a photo of his toe? I'm like, I don't know, because he wants a camel on it. Like he wants to get it tattooed. Like just chill. Yeah. But it would everything would be blown out of proportion and seen as like, you know, just really negative. And so like being single right now, oh my god, it's fucking epic.
As soon as you get to a point in a relationship where you finally need to go through their phone.
Oh yeah, I'm
like,
nah.
Get out.
100%.
Like, get out. If you think that way,
yeah.
Like ask them, be like, are you doing anything? And if you don't trust them, get out.
Yeah, I know that now. Like there's so many red flags that I just like I don't take. Fuck yeah! Like now I'm just like nah, see you, bye. Like I don't waste any of my time now.
Love is a thing that just blinds you.
Love makes me fucking stupid. Yeah. Like so dumb.
Logical decisions just go out the window. Yeah.
Like no. I can't think for myself. You know, I'm always trying to make the other person like really happy.
Oh, that bit sucks.
Yeah, soz.
There's a few bits there where you're just like, oh, that's the flavour.
That's the flavour. It's a little spicy. Yeah. Sorry, I thought I was using the fluffy needles. I have to swap these ones over.
I was wondering when we were going to do this. Like, when did you hit a spot where you're like, oh, that's actually hard to focus.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Ow. Is that up here?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm really sorry.
But you're saying now, coming out of that relationship, obviously finding yourself.
Yeah.
Finding your happiness, finding you again.
Yeah.
And now being able to build a relationship with your ex. And you're saying now that he has a new partner with a kid. Mm-hmm. And you guys all care.
Yeah.
For the kids. What's that word for it? Co-parenting?
Yeah, we're co-parenting. I call us one big, beautiful, blended family. Like, I love his new wife. And the relationship that we have now, like me and the father of my children, is like, I actually respect him now. Whereas before, I just, like, I couldn't look at him, you know? Like, he made me so mad. But, like, what I was saying earlier about, like, we brought the worst out in each other. It's because we had unhealed trauma and we weren't dealing with it, and we were just projecting and blaming the other one, and like, I feel like shit, it's your fault. And then the other person's like, well, I feel like shit, it's your fault. Instead of taking ownership of your own fucking emotions and responsibility to take care of yourself. You know, now I will never ever like be the victim in any circumstance. Like, I'll own my shit every fucking day. And like, you know, we both apologize to each other, and we can both understand that we did the best we could given the situation and circumstances that we had, and like it didn't work out. Like, we did meet like briefly, didn't really know each other, and then like fell pregnant shortly after. So we didn't create a relationship out of love and trust. It was just like, shit, what's your middle name? I'm pregnant. I was like, oh fuck.
How old were you?
Well, I was 25. But when I was 15, I was told that I wouldn't have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like my whole life I have just been like, whatever, man. It's sweet. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, huh? You wanna, like, you're what? Like, yeah, so it was a big shock and surprise. And
what was the feeling when you figured that out? Like, you say shock and surprise, but is it good or bad?
Like bad. Because I'd planned my whole life, you know?
But were you excited at the same time? Like,
I was terrified. I was fucking terrified. I could not take care of myself. And now I'm being responsible for another life. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? And I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this. And like the whole time I was just doubting myself. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be a very good mom. Like, I'm a shit show. My life is a fucking train wreck. But I tell you what, the second I became a mom, it was like, this is my calling. Like, this is my purpose now. Like, I just fucking... Oh, I'm so emotional talking about it, because it's like when I became a mum, my whole life changed. And I became a better person. Like, I worked harder because I had a family to provide for. Like, I'm so grounded now. Like, they give me purpose. I know that sounds like super cliche, but I love those little fuckers so much. And they're like the coolest kids. And they make me who I am. Like, I stepped up and became a better person. And I have them to thank for that. And like, they're so emotionally intelligent. So we just hang out now. They're like my best little buds. They're so funny. They're funniest little guys.
What do you think the biggest thing they've taught you is?
Definitely patience. Definitely patience. But they've taught me to like not sweat the small stuff. I used to get caught up in my head about everything. And when you have kids, like, you kind of just need to relax. There's going to be shit on your walls, and they're going to be like, everyone's going to have gasher at the same time. And it's just like, it's just living. We're lifing. And it's like, they've truly taught me lately to be present, because I look back at these memories that my iPhone likes to suggest, and I'm in tears, because it was like yesterday they were newborns, and now they're like in school playing sport. And so like I literally stop and smell the fucking roses, because those years have gone so fast. And I just want to make sure that I give them the best quality of life. And I think for them, it's my presence, you know, like when I'm with them, I'm not on my phone. Like I don't want to be distracted. And now that we co-parent, my time's, you know, even more limited. So it's sacred.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if they're having a meltdown about something, it's not that big of a fucking deal. Like, we'll work through it. You know, like...
As bad as it sounds, I think the people or children or in your life that stop you from going on your phone and center you and make you feel more present are probably the people you need to be around more.
Yeah.
Like if you're around people and you're constantly like reaching for a distraction or thinking about something else, those probably aren't the people you should be surrounded with.
It's like you're uncomfortable in the silence and the presence and surrounded by that weird energy.
You're trying to find a way out.
Yeah.
Where I know I'll be with people and like time will change. You're so in that moment. I think those are the people you should obviously attract and be around as much as possible. And I guess, like you said, your kids give you that.
Yeah.
So you feel that all the time.
Yeah, I'll keep them around.
Like, can give them the boot?
Nah, I'll keep them around. I like them. They've made the cut.
What's it like also dating with kids? Because obviously letting people into their lives, it adds another element to...
Yeah.
It's not just you now.
Yeah. So in the beginning, that was my biggest fear, was being a single mom with kids, who's going to want me. You know, I had a lot of like embarrassment around that, because all I wanted was a fucking family, and then I had it, and then it was taken from me. And now for me, it's kind of weird, but I felt like a failure. Like my family falling apart was a massive failure to me. And I carried a lot of shame around that. And so I didn't feel worthy of anyone's love. Like who's gonna fucking love me? Like I can't make the man that I bred with to love me. Like, who the fuck is gonna want me? And so I didn't want to date. And then, like, I've tried it. I've definitely tried it. And I don't want to introduce my children to all these random men. You know, I feel like if someone's worthy of their fucking attention, well, then I will introduce them. But yeah, it's a tricky one, because I don't think I ever want to date again. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, because it's like at one point you're seeing someone and you go, it's like, okay, now you like meet my kids, because then that's a massive step. Yeah,
I've definitely shifted my perspective. In the beginning, I was like, fuck, who's going to want me? I have kids. Yeah. And now I'm like, who's good enough to meet my children? Yeah. So I'm definitely... Yeah, I feel extremely powerful with that. It's like the next person I do date, or if I have in my life, I'm not settling ever again. And they have to be good enough for my children, because they're so fucking cool. You know? Like, it'd be an honour to get to hang out with them. You're doing great, sweetie.
That's a sore spot.
You're doing great. You're doing so great.
Because I always think about when you do like enter a relationship, all the facets that I have to deal with, and then I just look at children as being such a a massive element that I've just never even had that thought.
Have you ever dated someone with children?
No,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
And I guess obviously just age for now, but it's like you do meet someone's kids. It's like how much of a role do you start playing in their lives, and then you just leave, and then that's not fair on the kid.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't just stay with someone because you've built a connection with their kids as well. It's like it's all got to work.
Yeah, and I just think if you keep like a really clear chain of communication throughout the whole thing, then, you know, it'll be fine either way. You know, so I just talk to my kids about everything. Like, they have the most incredible, like, understanding of life. It's so funny, like, they'll bring up my relationship with their dad, and they'll be like, oh, so much better that you guys don't fight anymore. And it's such a positive thing. Whereas for me, I wanted to keep the family because I wanted my kids to grow up with their dad, and I just wanted us to be a unit. And then it was like so detrimental to their mental health. Like, if they grew up watching us fight every fucking day, their idea of love would be so warped. They would think that is the entry level of a relationship, and then they would repeat the pattern and have toxic relationships, and that would be my fault. And so it's actually been the best thing that we ever did was, hey, I love my children too much to expose them to this. And now, like, it's so funny because they have a stepmom and they've had a child, so they have a brother. And Maddox had said to me, he's like, Mom, so are you Jagger's stepmom? Like, they're trying to, like, see me, like, they're trying to place me, like, where do I fit in? I'm like, no, I'm not his stepmom. But they're like, but what are you? I'm like, it's a good question. I don't know.
I'll be the hot stepmom.
I don't know. I'm just this guy hanging out over here. But yeah, it was so cute. They were just like, oh, Mom, are you Jagger's stepmom? I was like, that is weird.
Where do I fit in?
I know. But it's so beautiful how they're, like, articulating those thoughts.
Yeah, how does this actually work out? Yeah.
Like, me at that age, I would never be trying to, like ever think of that. I was just playing with Barbie dolls and making them all have lesbian orgies. You know, I wasn't thinking about the dynamics of relationships and, so...
How people fit in.
Yeah. You're doing great, sweetie. Did you ever play with Barbies? Oh, no, you have a brother, don't you? Well, that's okay.
I can still play with Barbies.
You can still play with Barbies.
That's a soft spot right there. Not the Barbie's actual tattoo.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. That's a soft spot. That's a soft spot.
Not the Barbies,
I used to love Barbies, but my brother wouldn't let me play with them.
I'm not talking about Barbies.
Just wanted to have lesbian orgies all the time. Seriously, every time I played Barbies, there was always a sex scene. I don't know why. I was way too young to even know what that was, but I was the horniest kid, man. I was so weird.
How do you say, because you say your parents are quite, like, reserved. And
yeah, they're country. They're country folk.
Where did you become you? Like,
that's a good question.
Where did you find this person? Because it's like you carry this, like, energy with you where, like, you are you, and we come back to that, like, authenticity where we say people say it, but they don't live it. Like, you live it.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
It came from living a world of fucking shame. So you wouldn't believe this, but when I was little, I was so painfully shy. Like, I was so shy. Like, I would grow my fringe. I had like a bob and a fringe. I'd grow my fringe over my eyes so I couldn't see anyone. I was like, if I can't see you, you can't see me.
Like head in the bucket.
Yeah. And I used to like hide under my mum's dress when we'd go out to like family events. And then when I was in primary school, like, this was a pivotal moment for me. So we would have to get up and, like, do persuasive speeches or, like, do our presentation of our project. And I would go beetroot fucking red, like my whole face. And it wouldn't go down for, like, 20 minutes. So I'd be up there and my face would be on fire because I was so embarrassed. And then I would sit down and my friend would be like, your face is so red. And I was like, fuck, I know. And I just, like, went home and I was so mad at myself. I was like, stop being a fucking pussy. And, like, I don't know, from that moment forward, I just forced myself out of my comfort zone. And then it got a bit easier, and then a bit easier, and then a bit easier. And now it's like, it's uncomfortable for me to, like, hide myself. Like, it's so freeing to be just fucking out there. Just putting myself out there.
But it's you, like, you're being you.
Yeah.
You just kind of had the exposure therapy of doing it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that though mentally, like being yourself and feeling, because like obviously you start being yourself, people aren't going to like that either.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like I said, every step of the way of my life, I'm just doing it scared. Everything I do, I'm fucking scared the whole time. It's not until after I've done it, I'll look back and I was like, yeah, that was pretty fucking awesome. That was a fun time. So I once heard this metaphor. I think that's the word. I might have fucked that up. But it's like buffaloes. Buffaloes are like terrified of storms. So they run into them. So the storm, like, it passes faster. Whereas if they're running away from it, it's just chasing them the whole fucking time. And so whenever I'm scared, I'm like, the great white buffalo! And I just like fucking go into it. And I visualize myself like just running into this storm with like a buffalo. And it's just, yeah, it's like, it's stupid, but I do. I literally remember the buffalo.
I think it's just the idea of going head first into things that actually scare you the most.
Oh, yeah.
And realising they're actually not that scary.
Yeah. Everything I do, I'm so uncomfortable and scared. And then after it, I get the most euphoric feeling. It's such a high. And then I just level up and I do something else more uncomfortable and scary. Like this one time, I tattooed a client and she told me she works at this like skincare clinic, and she was explaining that one of her doctors had just come back from America and he had a new product for anal bleaching. And then I was like, hey, that's kind of exciting. Like, what do you mean? Like, I've always wanted to do that. And she's like, do you want to be a guinea pig? Like, he wants to try out this new product. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I totally do. And so then I put a call out on Instagram. I was like, I'm already going to be uncomfortable. May as well turn it up a notch. So I put a call out for a stranger to come for a ride along to an anal bleaching session. And dude, fucking outreach was insane. It was insane how many people wanted to come to this appointment. And so I just did like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and I picked this beautiful baby angel Jess. And she was so excited, and I was feeding off her energy. I was like, fuck yeah, we're gonna do this. And so like the morning of the appointment, I quickly just run down to the local sex shop and I buy a heap of butt stuff, like butt plugs and like anal lube and just like heaps of funny stuff. And so when I meet her at the clinic, I just like handed her the little bag and I was like, hey buddy old pal. And we were both kind of like nervous, but I was like, no, we're doing it. There's no backsies, we're no backing out, we're going to get our buttholes bleached. And so I just thought, what?
She appreciated the gift bag?
Oh yeah, she loved it. She loved it. I think there's a butt plug in there too. And I was like, what better way to get to know someone than in the most vulnerable setting where you're completely exposed? It's like I had my ass out in front of a complete stranger and she filmed the whole thing. And I posted it on Instagram. It was the funniest shit. And it was literally 2 days before The Bachelor had posted that I was going on the show. So like everyone was like, what is this motherfucker up to? So yeah, I went and got my butthole bleached with a stranger and now we're like super tight and I want to do it again. I'll take like a different person to a ride along. But yeah, I was like, I didn't think about it. I'm like, I'm just doing it. And then when I like start to think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to like have my asshole out in front of a stranger and the whole internet. Like, and then I'm like, can't think about it, just do it. And then I just do it scared. I was like, oh my God. And people to this day still fucking talk about it. It was like, that was September last year.
Well, like, there's so many things to dive into here.
Go, get
like, what's the feeling to be like, this is, like, yes, this is what I'm doing? Like, where does that
the comedy side of it.
Just for a laugh.
Just for a laugh. Everything for me is for a laugh. And if I can make one person laugh, that's my day made, y'all. That's my day made. So yeah, I literally love making people happy and laughing because, you know, life's short, no one gets out alive. Let's just have a good fucking time. And so yeah, I'm like, what value will this bring? And it's like comedic value, of course.
Best medicine.
100%. I think my mum was a bit weird on that one. She was like, God, Kristen. And I do this other thing where wherever I travel to, whether it like be a different state, different country, I always like moon the city. So I'll like pull my pants down and show my asshole to the city. It's like a funny little thing that I do. but my mum hates
Like your
it.
calling signal.
Yeah,
It's like your
yeah,
bat
yeah.
signal.
It's like my bat signal, yeah. Hello, Melbourne! I was just like bend over and moon the whole city.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this one time I did it in Western Australia and there was a bunch of construction workers and I was on a balcony and so I did it and then ran inside and then a week later I got a message on Instagram from one of the construction workers and he was like, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you for the show last week, and I fucking lost it. I was like, no one has ever like seen me do it, so this was the first time that it had actually like had total recall. Like it came back to me and I got the feedback and I was like, this is amazing.
I don't know how to say this, but I think you need to marry that man. I think that's your guy.
That's my guy.
I think that's your guy.
All right, that's my guy.
You're back in dating. Actually, would it be hard to find that person?
Yeah, my inbox gets pretty busy in there.
I'll
just type in mooning Western. Oh no, that was pretty busy. How do I find you? Reach back out to me, please.
That was if you listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Please reach out.
Please reach
Maybe
out.
he's the guy you can take anal bleaching, and then if that goes well, then he's your man.
Babe, this is the best idea.
How else would you find someone?
Honestly, I can't think of any other way possibly. No, I'm not dating. See, I think that's why I don't like dating. It's so generic and boring. But if I met you through one of my mooning videos and we go get our buttholes bleached, now that's some lifetime love. Like, I could get down with that shit.
Yeah, I think it's dropping a lot of walls pretty quick, isn't
Honestly, I like to get to know people hard and fast. It's like, what better way than just fully exposing yourself? Like, imagine, like, you know, when you're an old person telling the grandchildren how you met. Well, when I met your grandpappy,
She was just out on the balcony.
I was just exposing my buttholes to the world, and you just, you know, you fell in love with it, you know?
So you just think about how normalized weird stuff is getting. Like, you know, we talked about before, like, tattoos were seen as being really out there and different and tough, and now everyone's got them. And even just like, just for example, like the OnlyFans world and how that's becoming more normalized.
Yeah.
And all these different like occupations. It's like, oh, mum's a TikToker.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, mum and dad met because she mooned him from a balcony. But like that is all just going to become more and more.
I know.
It's like somewhat normalized.
It's so true.
Future.
Like when Tinder came out, it was just like a fuck site. Like no one was dating on it, and now it's like the #1 dating site. People go on Tinder and like marry their Tinder date.
Yeah.
Like I have so many friends that have met their life partners from Tinder, and it's like now that's like so normal. It's so normal. But when it first came out, everyone was like, "Oh my god, Tinder! Like you're just on there to have sex." Obviously, Gary. Obviously, just trying to throw a leg over me. Let me get it.
Let me throw a leg over there.
I'm just gonna grab out another needle.
Why else would I be here?
Why else would I be here? You silly chicken.
So you're having a go at someone for going on a dating site where it is like predominantly just hookup culture?
Yeah, I've actually never been on a dating site.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you find love.
Well, maybe that's why I've been looking at the wrong places. Do you know where I do date?
Where's your go-to spot for dates?
Where do I go to, or how do I meet people?
Well, what's your most common place of meeting someone?
Here. Tattooing.
Really? See, I don't think you mix work and...
I know, that's what I've just learned. I can't do that anymore because, like, I get to know people and it's such an intimate setting and it's like I fall in love with people and their stories and it's like I don't really go out because when I do, I'm sort of a menace to society. So it's just safer if I stay home. So, yeah, I've met a lot of people here. I don't want to do that anymore. It's such a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't think
the last guy I met was here and I fucking fell in love instantly. I was having another baby. I was so in love. I was like, oh my God, you're the most beautiful person I've ever met. And then he just like went to a baby shower one day and didn't come home. And I was like, oh, it's a bit of a red flag.
What do you mean?
He just like didn't come home and he wouldn't answer my phone calls. And so I was just like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out. And then like the next day he posted a picture of him and another girl on Instagram. I was like, oh, that's a bit rough, but glad I dodged that bullet. Fuck me. I was going to have that motherfucker's baby.
How did that go down?
It just was weird.
Is this all like, this is the hard part where I guess people aren't super clear on where they stand in a relationship, or it's not even a relationship, it's if you're hooking up. Like, I'm trying so hard now to be 100% transparent and vulnerable, and just, this is me, this is where I'm at.
Just laying it out.
Laying it all out on the table. And it's like, if you want that, sweet. If you don't, sweet.
Yeah.
Like, no hard feelings. Like,
Yeah,
be a
just be
grown
honest,
up. Yeah,
yeah.
be a grown up and be like, hey, this is what I'm at.
Yeah.
If you're not there, all good. If you are there, all good. Like, it's fine either way. But people are so scared about saying how they actually feel because
Yeah.
they're so worried about the reaction that the person's going to make.
It's so
that
true,
they
but you're just
keep-
lying to yourself and the other person.
Well, something you hurt eventually because
Yeah.
you think differently than what they think, or you're trying to figure out what they think, and then you're like, oh, we're in love, we're about to get married, we're about to have babies, and then they're like, oh no, actually, I'm not coming home, and now I'm with another girl.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You're like, whoa, where did that come from?
Well, it kind of started from like how it always starts. So I've definitely dated. So I've had the same fucking problem. They get jealous of like.
Because you're friendly with other.
Yeah, I literally love everyone, and so that to an insecure person is very intimidating. And so this is how I get into these controlling relationships, is because I want to make them feel secure that I will give away myself. I'll be like, oh, okay, you don't want me to talk to that person? I won't talk to that person. It's super fine. I'd rather you be happy because I fucking love you.
Yeah.
But then
Once they
I'm
start
lying to
control,
myself.
They
Yeah.
control one thing, and like, oh, maybe I'll like.
Well, that's what happens.
Yeah,
it's a fucking domino effect because I let them dictate who I can and can't talk to, what I can and can't wear, where I can and can't go. And at the end, I'm just like, who the fuck am I? And how did I get in this position again? And so, yeah, he was a little bit jealous of like people that like I work with, people that I've been in relationships with that I'm still friends with. He was like not okay with that. And I was like, well, I'm not changing who I fucking am for anybody. And he kicked up a bit. He was like, well, I don't fuck with that. And I was like, well, I don't fuck with this. And then we just went on for a little bit and I was like, this is a bit weird.
This is the bit that I never understand. It's like, if I wanted to cheat on you, or if I wanted to hook up with other people,
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
It's like you saying all this stuff isn't
Yeah.
going to change that. It's
Look,
like,
I see it for what it is. It's like, they don't want to get hurt. So they're protecting their feelings.
They don't want that.
He
They don't
said
trust
to
me,
me,
leave.
he
Like,
said,
get
if
out.
I surround myself with people that I've had past relations with, then I'm going to like go there again. Or like, he's like, I trust you, but I don't trust guys. And I was like, fuck off.
What does
You
that
don't trust
mean?
me.
Yeah,
Like,
what does that mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna like a guy's gonna fucking rate you?
Yeah,
It's like I have to be into it as well. Like,
100%.
It's a two-way street.
So I was just like, I see that for what it is. And in the past, I would give in and I would allow them to have that power. But I dug my heels in. I was like, nah, sorry.
Yeah, it's like gaslighting.
Oh, 100%.
So much gaslighting.
Oh, and I know so much about that now thanks to therapy. I read a good book. It's literally called Gaslight. Changed my fucking life. I know it's so, you know when you buy like a red car and then you see a red car everywhere? But for me, I didn't know what a narcissist was or what gaslighting was until I read books about it.
Till I
And
realised I
now
was married to one.
I see that shit everywhere. And I'm like, how the fuck did I not know this was a thing? And everyone else knows about it. And I was like, how are you guys so smart about this? I have like, I don't know, self-diagnosed ADHD. And so I'm a light bulb for a narcissistic moth. They're like fucking drawn to me. Because like in the beginning, like I just love to relate to people. So I want to get to know you as soon as fucking possible. And to like a narcissist, they're just like, they're fucking cataloging all your information to use against you later. And then, yeah, you're up shit creek without a paddle. It's rough. It's so rough. And so now it's like, I feel like because I've been in so many toxic relationships and I'm really terrified that I'm just like such a bad judge of character. Because I just think everyone's fucking awesome. But like not everyone is. And like, that's okay. I can accept that.
The worst thing about that is what we talked about before, how when you do deal with people like that, then you put up a wall and you get resentful and you stop living in your feminine, start living more in your masculine. And it's like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
But you're so scared to get hurt again that you have to like use that as like body armor.
Absolutely.
Going into a relationship and then someone's trying to like pull down the walls and the issues and the trauma, and it's just like you're putting up such a strong fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, then how long do you fight before you just give up on that person and go, this isn't like this, it's like too like damaged goods almost. Like it's too much.
For me, I won't fight for that shit anymore. I gave up the good fight when my family broke down. Like, so I gave everything to that. And when that fell apart, I was sort of like a bit jaded. I was like, I'm done. Like, I will not fight for someone to love me ever fucking again. It's like, love me or don't. Bye, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fucking, I don't have any patience for that anymore.
And you realise it's fine either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to, so I had this girl in my life. And it's crazy because what you don't like in others is what you're lacking in yourself. And so she was very, like, direct and said what she wanted and she got what she wanted all the time. And for me, as a people pleaser, I was always like, oh my God, she's so rude. Like, can she not just, like, bend over so we all, like, work together? But she's always like, no, this is what I want. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not doing this. I'm not being a part of that. And I would always just, like, overextend myself and just do everything. And I'd be like, I don't want to fucking do it. And I was always miserable. Whereas now, I'm, like, I've kind of taken on her values. And I don't go to places that I don't want to go now. And I don't do things that I'm not interested in. And she always pops into my mind. And I was like, she triggered me so fucking much because I wanted to be like her. I loved how staunch she was. Like she knew her worth. And she wasn't fucking discounting that for no motherfucker. And I was always jealous. I was always so jealous. And now I'm like, you know what? Bitch, she's got it going on. I'm going to take a leaf out of your tree. And now it's just like, she's such a role model for me. And I don't see her as rude anymore. I see her as someone who knows her worth and her value. And she just doesn't...
Owning it.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Just like that shift in perspective. I used to be a really jealous person. And I think that's because the people that I was in relationships with would always, like, have me questioning myself. And so, like, not being, like, letting go of my ego and jealousy has been the most freeing experience of my entire fucking life. Like, I tell myself this every day. Like, when I used to get jealous, it was because I would put things in scarcity. You know, like with tattooing. I'd be like, oh my God, she's such a better tattoo artist than me. Like, I fucking suck. And I put this scarcity on it, like there wasn't enough talent to go around. And now I have changed that. And there's enough of everything. There's enough money, there's enough love, there's enough energy, there's enough of everything fucking good to go around. Like, there is enough. There is so much. In fact, it's overflowing. And like, ever since I shifted that perspective, I don't experience jealousy, like, at all. I'm like, hey, there's enough. You know, there's enough for you, there's enough for me, and I just want to lift everyone up.
Do you catch yourself sometimes with, like, I try and be happy for everyone all the time and try and look at when people are succeeding and just being happy for them succeeding. But there's still a time when I get a feeling when someone seems like they're getting not stuff too easy, but it's almost like stuff goes really right for someone.
Yeah.
And at the same time, stuff isn't going right for you. And there is that little bit of resentment and that little bit of jealousy that creeps in. Like, it's like you still feel it.
That
you
is
don't
feel though.
You don't, I'm saying you can feel that.
You
but
can
like,
feel it.
You don't react to it. You don't then go and hate the person or do something. But it's the whole thing that just because you're a good person doesn't mean those feelings still don't creep in.
Yeah, of course, you're human. You're absolutely human. Like, it's how you deal with it. Yeah, like shifting the perspective and like just being like, well, fuck. Honestly, it's your best.
It's like, why are you
it's your
feeling
best
that?
coach. It's your best guidance. If you're feeling that jealousy, it's because you need to step the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you're letting yourself down.
Yeah, it's looking at yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm annoyed at this because I know I
why
need
is
to
this
do more.
triggering me?
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, let's get back to work. There's some work to do here. Yeah. So have those feelings because those feelings are fuel. Like, they'll constantly like check you check in with yourself. You're like, why is this person triggering me? Okay, because I need to be doing this, this, and this. Sorry, babe.
That's okay. Just a few sensitive spots.
I know. That's what she said.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
When have you felt like you've had to deal with like a real loss in your life?
My fucking family. When, I know I talk about this all the time, but it is the single most painful thing that has ever happened to me. Like, losing my family, like the breakdown of that relationship fucking destroyed me. Like, I proper felt like a failure. Like, I felt like I failed my kids. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Because yeah, that's like all I've ever wanted. And then, yeah, it was so hard because I fucking loved him so much. It was like, I had to let go of like the one thing that I love the most. It was so hard.
And you had to do it for you as well.
Yeah, but like the best thing that ever happened was he moved on straight away, which at the time hurt because I was like, what the fuck? And like all the things that I wanted him to do for me, he did for her. And I was like, what? And that hurt even more. And then I started drinking and like I was just like I was a mess, hated myself. But it all happened in like such a short amount of time. Like he met someone new. He got her pregnant. He then proposed to her. They then got married. And it was just like a lot all at once. But I wouldn't change it. I honestly wouldn't change it because it forced me to get over it faster. He just fast-tracked like 7 years of grieving, you know? Like, and for me, I would have gone back. Like, if he didn't get her pregnant, I still would have taken him back. I was like, go on, fix yourself, come back when you're ready. And he went and got someone pregnant. I said, work on yourself, bitch, not get someone pregnant. So like we would have repeated that pattern for fucking our whole entire lives. So the best thing that he did was meet someone else, and like it forced me to let him go and then realize how unhealthy things were. And yeah, like we talk about that too. We're like, fuck, you know, like.
Well, now it's crazy that you say that's the hardest thing, and now you guys are all friends and you're helping like co-parent.
Isn't it wild?
And you were saying that you're even talking to her about him to make it better, and him about her to make it better. It's like you're helping both of them.
Yeah. So they've both called me separate times, like just navigating life, a new baby, you know, like life's hard, man. Having kids is fucking harder. And when you're trying to parent and survive, young children is the hardest time of your life because everyone thinks they're fucking failing. Everyone thinks the other person isn't helping enough. And it's like, you kind of like, I don't know, you just hate each other. Like you're tired, you're sleep deprived. But it's like, if you can just get through that hard time, man, it gets so much fucking better. And so like, I don't want him to, you know, fail that relationship because, you know, they've got something really special there. So if I can just help in any way, because I know how he works and I know how I felt when I was in a relationship with him. So yeah, I tell her, hey, like, this is how you're going to work through this. And then I say to him, stop being a fucking dickhead. Like, you've got a really cool chick. Like, don't fuck this up. Like, because, you know, we've all got our little things that we do. And so when he's feeling rejected, he'll, like, you know, act out. And I'm like, she loves you. She's just tired. She just had a baby. Like, you need to chill the fuck out. And, like, so they're kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's super weird. I'm giving marriage counseling to my ex and his new wife. But I want my kids to be happy. I'm fucking selfish. I do it for my children.
Yeah.
I want my kids to have 2 happy, healthy homes. Yeah, and it was like when we separated, like, I wasn't going to take him for anything. I actually bought him out of my house. So, like, I selfishly did that so my children would have 2 homes. And I was like, why would you do that? I was like, well, because my kids deserve that, you know, and I want him to get back up on his feet. You know, breakups are hard. Financial shit is really difficult. And it's like, I didn't want to fuck him over. I just wanted it to be over. And yeah, and now they're thriving, you know, they have such a good life. They've bought a house and, you know, they've now got stability. So, yeah.
It's crazy to you like in a point when you said like it's the hardest thing going through that and losing your family.
Yeah.
To then being a pillar to support it, and then that also entailing doing counselling for your ex. And I think it's the big takeaway from that is it's like you can still help someone, care for someone, love someone, even if they're with someone else and have a completely new family.
Yeah.
It's like you can still be the person. Like you say, you obviously there's a bit of selfishness that comes into doing it for your kids, but you're also doing it for them as well.
I do. Like, I love her and I love him. Like, I will love him forever. Like, we have children together. Like, there's something that just doesn't go away. It just doesn't go away. And yeah, like, it taught me so much. Like, because I've always been so codependent in relationships. When I had to go on my complete own, like, I grew up a lot. And, like, you know, I saw all the things that, you know, I had done wrong in that relationship. And so I wasn't angry anymore because I could I could see the relationship from the outside. And I was just like, fuck, we cooked it. Let's laugh about it now.
You're just learning, like, you're just kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, you know, he was working when I was like a stay-at-home mom, and it was hard because he was like having to travel real far, wake up really early, like, and all I wanted was connection. I was like, spend time with us. And he was just like, no, I'm fucking tired, leave me alone. And so all he wanted was like to be appreciated for working hard, and all I wanted was to be appreciated for working hard at home. And it's like we couldn't communicate that. We would just like lash out at each other. It's just, yeah, really unhealthy coping mechanisms. I'm going to put a bit of white in this, I reckon. Okay. Do you want kids?
I think, yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been training because I was like helping young kids with like racing, with riding.
Okay.
And I definitely went through stages. I'd normally help them when they were like around 13, 14 kind of age.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like obviously not super young kids, but it was funny dealing with kids and seeing them go through like adolescence and stuff, and then also that disconnect from like always thinking you're the coolest and wanting to hang out with you all the time, and then going to the point when they're like you're not as cool as you used to be kind of thing.
I cannot think about that. The day that my kids don't want to hang out with me anymore, I cannot even think about. Oh my God.
The things when they're like hiding behind you when they want to go to school, to then like they don't even look like want to.
Oh my God, I want to cry again.
Mum's not cool anymore.
I know.
And everyone's got to go through it, hey?
Yeah, it's so devastating. I think that's why I cherish every single fucking second with my children, because it's not, you know, they're going to be adults one day with their own family. And I'll just be like waiting for them to call, you know? Okay, what are you doing?
I remember talking to my mum when obviously you've got to get your L plates, you've got to do the hours with your parents.
Yeah, I miss that. That's how old I am. I didn't have to do the 100 hours.
Oh, we had to do the 100 hours, and I remember mum would complain about it.
Oh.
And then, because sometimes we're like, can we just go for a drive? I just want to get my hours up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fine. And like, make a big deal out of it. And I remember like years afterwards we were with her and she's like, I miss driving with you, getting the hours up. It's like all these things that we look at as being a burden with your kids. It's like you would go back in time and trade those.
Oh my God, I want to cry again.
Those moments for anything. Like the times when, like you said, everyone's got gastro and you're all in the house and it's like, seems like the worst thing ever. Like in 10 to 20 years you'll be like, I miss everyone being under the house in those times.
Fuck man, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, it goes quick.
It goes so really quick. Oh my God. I love them so much. I understand when people go back and have more kids because like they just start growing up and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah, reset.
I want someone to need me. Oh, yeah.
What's the wildest tattoo story you think you have?
Like me personally or like a client?
Both.
Yeah. Look, it's kind of boring.
Don't say that then.
I know. I don't have
Make something up.
This one time, fucking band camp. No, I probably have a story, but I also have a really terrible fucking memory. So let me try and dredge one up. I remember when I was an apprentice, I had this young kid come in and he got a full chest piece and it was script and it was live life with no pants on. And it was like the coolest fucking thing I'd ever done. I was like, this guy's a vibe. Like, I love it. And then like 2 weeks later, his mum come in and abused me because
you tattooed it.
Yeah. I was like, he's 18. It's fine.
He's a grown man.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I do have a funny story. So I judged like the shittest tattoo comp for the Australian Tattoo Expo, and I was roasting this one guy because he had a really shit tattoo. I was like, I fucking bet your mum's real proud of that one.
His mum tattooed
His mum was in the crowd, and then she like came up to the organizer and was like, I'm really offended. He's going through such a hard time, and like that comment about his mum being proud, like, you don't know what he's been through. And I was just like, in hindsight, I'm like, hang on a minute. You're here supporting your son on stage, boasting about having a shit tattoo. I'm like, I think you're an enabler, doll. Like, you're supporting his bad fucking decisions. And so she came for me because
She came for me.
I was roasting him about his shit life decisions. And I was like, well, I can understand how we got here. She's probably going to hear this and then come for me again.
I was going to say, look, this is explaining a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
This checks out.
Yeah. I'm like, well, you are clapping for him. Well, anyway. But no, I don't have any crazy stories.
Do you have any more?
I'm pretty PG when it comes to that. A lot of my clients wait months or years to get tattooed, or they've traveled, you know, so it's like a lot of planning's got into it. So I feel like those funny stories are from the spontaneous moments of like, oh, drunk, let's get a tattoo. But mine are all like, you know, pre-planned. They're coming in, like they're excited.
Because to book in with you, like you have quite a big waiting list.
Yeah.
To get in with you. And we kind of like, we obviously we skipped over the part about, or you're getting into tattooing, your partner setting prices. But then when was the big jump to go from, okay, I'm finding my value to then I'm very sought after?
I don't know, but I'll bring it back to the kids. So like I want to support my family, so then I had to start charging.
Yeah.
And so that, and it was more like...
But there's a jump between I need to start charging and I'm like sought after and doing very high-end people.
It was honestly like the breakup of my relationship when I started to believe in myself. Because up until that moment, I didn't fucking like care what I look like. I didn't care about anything. I didn't present myself to the world in a way where I was like, look at me, I'm here. And so when I left the father of my children, I was like, I'm going to be unapologetically me and fucking cringe. I'm going to be so cringe. And like, I did it for me. I didn't do it for anybody else, but it just created such like a thing. Like it was, I don't know, I won the Gold Coast like best tattoo artist. And so like that day I was so fucking excited. I was like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And I just like walked out the front door and there was this sweet little old lady like on her iPad. And I was like, fuck, I really want to ask her to dance with me, but like, I don't know if she's going to say yeah, because she looked real angry. And I was like, hi, excuse me, like, do you mind like dancing with me? Because I just like won this competition and I'm so fucking excited. And she was like, oh yeah. And she like put the iPad down, and then there was a delivery guy that pulled up and I was like, hey, can you film? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I'm dancing around with this old bird, and then I was like, hey, fuck it, can you film him? And then I was dancing around with the delivery guy, and then I went down to the bakery and I was like, hey, can you guys dance with me? I just won this competition. And then I got all the shots to like dance with me, and I was so scared asking everyone, and I felt so cringe, but it just fucking blew up, and I was like, this is fun. And so then I just started doing it more, and just like heaps of weird shit, and I was just like ask my clients to like piggyback me around the room or like dance with me, and it's just, I don't know, just grab people's attention.
It's building momentum.
Yeah, and it's just consistency. Like it's fucking crazy, and I don't think of myself like in that light whatsoever. I just think I'm just some average Joe Blow that blew in from Bernese that just tattoos people. So I don't think I'm anything special. I'm no better than anyone at all.
I don't think anyone's really better than anyone.
No,
but, like,
but it's crazy when you say that. I'm like, I don't know, that's not me, man. I'm just some idiot.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's like whenever someone gets really good at something, it's that, I guess that bit when you go from I'm just trying to do this to I'm really good at doing this properly.
Yeah, see, I don't even think that though. Like, I don't think I'm good at anything. So when you say that, I'm like, oh my god, that's so
There's a little snip on the wall over there that says you're the best tattooer in the Gold Coast. It's not just you saying that, it's other people.
I know, it's just really hard for me to hear because I still struggle with my self-worth a little bit. It's I don't really think I'll ever be cured. So yeah, I just so I'm working on it. Like I accepted it. I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool. Thanks, I'll take it. But I'm also like, oh, I don't really know about it. Yeah. Are you guys sure?
I get what you mean though. It's easy to give a lot of like love and appreciation and time and effort to other people, but then when you get it back, it's like, why are you doing this? Yeah, why are you doing this?
It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Why is this jacket so itchy? Yeah, I agree.
You feel seen.
Yeah, and it goes back to me being a child and being so painfully shy that I'm like, don't look at me. And so when you're like, oh, hey, you're really good at what you do. I'm like, no, I'm not. Don't look at me.
Yeah. It's funny. I would always struggle to get compliments.
Yeah, same.
I'd become really awkward.
Yeah, I'm awkward as fuck.
It's just like...
Have you worked on it? What's your secret? What'd you do?
I've definitely gotten better at it.
Yep. What's the best compliment you ever received?
Damn.
Literally 10 minutes ago on your Instagram. Yeah, that is a spicy
That's
a good self-portrait. Well done. That's a hot picture.
I think it's I don't know, it's like not so much like a physical thing, but I think when people I guess, give you a compliment about how you've helped them in some way, and you've made their life better.
Oh,
in
that
some
shit
way.
lights a fire up my asshole. I love those messages when someone's like, you know, your stories brighten my day. I'm like, you brighten my day. Thank you for sending this message. It's so nice. I do. I live for that shit. I can take those compliments all gosh darn day, doll. I'll take it.
Because you find it crazy to think, it's like that person's obviously reached out, and that's one of, just say, thousands of people that have seen something.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many people have you actually impacted? Because like,
Yeah.
like not everyone's going to reach out to you that it has actually impacted.
That's a pretty crazy thought.
And it's like, if this many people have actually told me it's helped them, how many people have I actually helped? And it's like, it's so hard to actually quantify that number.
I know.
But I can imagine like it would be pretty high on some occasions.
Yeah, well, I do heaps of weird shit with my bin. Like, bin days become a bit of a phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I'll have people, like, send me messages, like, they're in hospital, and they're like, hey, thank you, I just, like, want to let you know that I'm in hospital, and, like, your videos, like, brighten my day. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And then I feel like a sense of responsibility to the people now to make everyone happy all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make everyone happy and feel loved and laugh.
I felt that I started doing crazy haircuts, like back in 2021, because I did like a pink bowl cut for Breast Cancer Awareness Week.
Okay.
And then it got a heap of like hype behind it, and people were like, this is great, so good you're doing that. So I was like, well, I need to do a crazy haircut next weekend.
Okay.
So then I did a crazy haircut, and it just kept going.
That's so awesome.
And it's like you get into this point of like, you're doing it because it's like you feel like there's a responsibility that I need to do a stupid haircut, or I need to do a funny video, you need to do something. And it's kind of like you get sucked into this thing of like, well, I want to do it for me, but also I feel like I can't let people down now.
100%. That's like me with bin day. There's been a couple of times I've slept in. I'm like, get on with it. Come on, you cannot let the people down. But then sometimes that's the funniest content, because when it's like, I actually just forgot bin day, it's like a funnier story. You know, like there's always funniness around everywhere, every day.
So did you pretty much blow up from doing your dancing videos and obviously like tattooing as well, but that was how you...
I guess so. I would say that's probably where I get most of the attention, is just the ridiculousness of it all. Because it's like, you know, tattooing videos are all the same. Cute, did a tattoo, wiped it, clean, there's a tattoo. And I'm like, let's bring a bit of energy to this. Like, let's show the tattoo process. Like, I fuck around with my clients, like, every day. Yeah. So that's just, like, my actual life. It wasn't until I started filming it that I'm like, hey, it actually looks kind of fun. This is, I get to go to work and have fun every day and draw pictures. I get to do what I love. It's like, when I win the lotto and become a scrillionaire, I'll save the world. I'll give so much money to everyone and help everyone. No one will be sad. But I'll also still tattoo, you know? If I had all the money in all the world, I would still do it. I just love the connection with the people.
Do you feel... Remember how you were saying before, every time you come out of your therapy session, you feel like you've learned something?
Yeah.
Do you feel that also when you're tattooing and also when you're podcasting?
Yeah, absolutely. Constantly. Like, tattooing is so stressful. I never know what I'm doing. Like, I'm learning every single day. Like, every client has different skin, they have different everything. It's like you can't figure that. You don't just go in and be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. It's like all day you're just like learning. Everything's learning. Everything's hard. Everything's scary. I just do it. But yeah, with the podcast, that's like super new. And
how did that all start?
Yeah, just beautiful accident. So this sweet baby angel, Luke, who I love, from Umbrella Creative, he reached out and he's like, hey, you're funny. Do you want to do a podcast? I was like, fucking yes, God. Didn't really think anything through. And now I actually really love it, and I want to like make something of it. So like in the beginning, it was just like, yeah, this will be a cool thing to take on, and now it's like, actually no, this is something that I enjoy, but it's difficult because I do work full time. I have a kid, I have 2 children, and it's like I've got to really schedule my time, and then I have like, you know, my guests, usually my friends, and so their schedules are fucking hectic too. So it's trying to link up the limited time that I have with the limited time that they have with. Because Luke's so busy as well. It's just like when the stars align, it's epic.
Yeah, but, podcasting's a big job.
Yeah, I was really confused because in the beginning I'm like, I just want it to be comedy and funny and just laugh at everything. And then when I started doing it, like when I tattoo, like what we're doing right now, like I get to know my clients and I want to know who they are and what their story is. And it's like, no, that's sort of what I want to do with podcasts. It's like I love people and I want to know why they tick and why they are the way that they are. And so like the comedy's kind of like gone out the window a bit, but like it still comes in. It's like real, funny, sad, funny. It's just like I didn't know which direction I was going to take it. I still don't really know. It'll happen.
Sorry.
What about you? I'm just trying to distract you. Dick distract you.
It hurts up in that corner. That corner's not it.
Corner's not it.
Corner's not it.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's better.
Okay.
What were you saying, sorry?
How are you finding podcasting? Do you love it?
I love it, but it's definitely, I was talking about this other day with my friend Chris about it's a slog.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people go into it with this like idea that, I'll come out like, I chat with my mates, we have a good laugh, people will love it.
That was me. Me.
And then, but you've got, like, you already have a following, which is massive, and you have access to high, like, very famous guests, which is also a thing that will grow a podcast very quickly.
Okay.
Like, those two starting points are massive. And you have good energy, and you're good at chatting because you obviously podcast every day, so you're very relatable with people. Yeah. But I think a lot of people get into it with the idea, it's like, I have funny chats with my friends, we'll be fine, and they don't realise to actually like structure a podcast and make it interesting, and then obviously produce it, put it out, and everything that comes along with it. Yeah. It's quite a slog. Yeah. And I was just saying, it's funny. Me and my friend Chris Griffin, who's like, he's blowing up on his podcast. It's the second biggest educational podcast in Australia now.
Amazing.
He's getting heaps of downloads and he's doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's very fresh to it. Like, I think he's only done 22 episodes or 23 episodes. Okay. And I kind of started the podcast off as like a little side hustle thing because I enjoyed chatting with people, and it was like, I didn't care that I didn't make money off it because I like was racing and that was where I wanted to make my money. And now that I'm focusing more on it, but it's still like, it's growing, but it's growing quite slowly. Yeah. And it's like when you see someone that's just come in and they're like kind of killing it. Yeah. And you're like, fuck, like I've been grinding at this for a while, like not full time, but now it's becoming more full time. And you're still seeing it not pick up at the speed you wish it was. And then it's like, I guess that thing, it's like, you could just complain and go, poor me, boo-hoo, or you go, okay, how do I do this better? Yeah. And then you double down.
You pull your socks up and you fucking jog on.
Yeah, you go, okay, well, this
But it's because you want it.
Yeah.
You want it. If you didn't care, it wouldn't affect you.
Yeah.
The fact that it's like niggling at your soul, it's because it's your calling and you have to do it and you got to go for it. If you didn't give a fuck, it wouldn't bother you. But I think that's why, you will be successful, is because like you won't stop until you feel satisfied. But in saying that, generally what happens is you're never satisfied. Yeah. You're always hungry for more. You always want the next, The
funny thing was that obviously I've been trying to get a message across and be a positive person on it for so long. And there's certain things that just like haven't hit like I guess I thought they would. Okay. And then I did a podcast with my friend Chris. Yeah. Like on his show, and he posted a clip and it went super viral. It got like 2.5 million views on his. Wow. Probably more. Probably about 3 million views total on TikTok and Instagram, and then people reshared it, and then it got more. And I probably got a total of like 6 or 7 million views on this thing I said.
Wow. What was it?
Just this thing talking about how it's like don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Yeah. And how when I was like got paralyzed in America, how that was when I really realized it's like what's important is like your health and not.
Wait, you got paralyzed?
Yeah, when I had my spinal cord injury.
Wait, have we talked about this? What do you mean?
I had a big accident then last year.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And like your parents and stuff were really worried, right?
I can imagine.
Yeah, no, was there a story we were talking about? It was like did your mum fly over?
Mum came up, yeah.
Yeah.
Mum flew up to look after me.
Yeah.
I couldn't use my hands.
Sorry, I mean, of course they're going to be worried. But
I was like, your parents are kind of worried.
I'm like, I remember the story. I'm like, that was you. Fuck, that would have been... Oh my god, I feel so honoured to be like tattooing you right now. Thank you for walking again. Yeah. It's really sweet. Thanks.
Good. But the thing was, it's like, imagine that you've tried for a long time to have stuff that hits and people relate to and connect with and go viral over.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. And then someone else shares something that you say, and then
Yeah.
that goes viral. And it's kind of like, it's in your studio, it was something you said, and then I actually shared the same video hoping it would go viral for me, and it just didn't. And it was just like, that, like it's just like...
I don't understand the internet. It's a spicy little flu that I don't really understand.
It's tricky, but it's like, it's just, that one, it was kind of that whole thing of...
What about that TikTok of that girl that's like the most famous TikTok? And what she does is like move her eyes and like her lips.
Oh, yeah.
But she does nothing.
Yeah.
There's no words. There's no talent. It's just her moving her face around.
Yeah.
And it is like the highest grossing fucking TikTok in the land.
Yeah. Well, look at the Hawk Tur girl.
I love her.
That's what I mean. It's like...
She's so cool. But the thing is, like, she's done an interview and she's like, oh, yeah, she's not even that kind of girl.
Yeah.
Like, you watch that and you're like, oh my God, she's a funny, like, bitch. And then she's getting interviewed and she's like this sweet little frail, quiet thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I actually don't want the attention. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like hidden for a long time.
Well, she doesn't have social media. She took herself off like 6 months before that happened.
Yeah.
She was like, but no one could find her because she just didn't have social media. But now, like, what was it, like fucking 3 weeks ago? She's now got an agent, a manager. She's got all these... They're flying her around the world for all these interviews.
Oh, she'll become a millionaire.
Imagine that, like waking up one day and then just being like...
Super famous.
Yeah.
Literally the most famous person in the world.
Right. But yeah, I love that for her. I really do. That video is so funny. Her laugh is so cute. Like, she deserves good things.
You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you, girl.
You gotta give that hot
Run with
too.
it. Run with it, bitch. And it's cute because like her friend's just in the background, just like giggling, and she's like bringing her friend along for the ride.
I know her friend made it.
Sorry.
Why does that suck so bad?
Do you want the truth or the truth?
A little bitch.
Yeah. No, tattoos suck. I'm super sorry. When I got my bum tattooed, I was crying. It was like I was sitting in a hot car seat and I couldn't get off. I was like, I thought we were friends. Why do you hate me? Do you still want this coloured? You're over it.
No, I guess we can. Yeah, let's cover it. Oh. I'm fragile.
Yeah. Don't touch it.
Sorry.
You got germs.
Sorry. I thought about that as I did it. I was like...
Yeah, okay.
I'm fragile.
Oh, babe. I'm super sorry.
It's okay. You've done a great job.
Well, thank you. What a great specimen. Let me just clean it up a bit more. You did so well.
Oh, sometimes that was hard to think and operate.
Yeah, but you did great. No one would even know.
You did great, sweetie.
You did so great. I'm really fucking proud of you.
It's matchy. Should we do that? Or I remember that not being painful, so... I remember that not being sensitive. But
You want to do it?
yeah.
Should we? Let's just
Yeah.
fuck it up. Go hard or go home. Or go home hard. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Why don't we do both?
What's that?
Why don't we do both? Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. Is that for a good time?
Do you want to rub? Have you got that soapy
Yeah. Give me a
spray
sec.
guy? Or like just to wash the permanent marker. 'Cause I'm sure that's really good going into the old blood.
Well, yeah, no, I draw with permanent marker all the time and then tattoo it.
Really?
Yeah. It's probably not good, but I do.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I forget how tattoos actually hurt.
I know. You always go into it and you're so excited, and then you're halfway in, you're like, I'm opting to do this.
I was good until like the white. I think the white was like,
Yeah,
when you're
you-
like, oh, we're done. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
there's some white. You're like, can you put that away?
I know you're really sensitive, and I've just been tattooing you over and over and over and over again, but let me just do it one more time.
Just one more time.
With
in a
really
different
thick
colour.
pigment.
Oh.
Okay. Let's
What's
go.
the worst thing about being a tattoo artist?
The worst thing is I want to have all the fun and not do the work. So I want to do all the fun stuff, but then I have to also run my own business. I've got to take my bookings. I've got to, like, that side of thing, like, not like the best at, you know, like, I'll
You
be...
see a little assistant.
Yeah, this is what's fucked up about me. So I need help real bad. I need an assistant. but I don't trust anybody. You know, so I don't let anyone in because I don't trust them. But I need someone to run my life, but I don't trust anyone to do it. So it's like I'm fucked. I'm just like running around in circles, chasing my tail.
Why do you feel like you have that trust issue?
I don't know, man.
This comes back to the no dating anymore, doesn't it?
Kind of. Yeah, I got ish. Oh, I'll bring it up in therapy and I'll get back to you. Why can't I hire a fucking PA?
This is therapy.
This is therapy. Okay, what's the answer? Why can't I hire? How do I let
exposure therapy? You know this.
Run scared. Fucking Great White Buffalo. All right, I'm gonna hire a PA. Do you want to be my
PA? I'm so busy.
Well, fucking, there goes my shot at life. See, now I feel rejected, and I'm not going to
stop
try again.
See, that's the first go.
Nah, that was good. That was practice.
That's practice.
Yeah, that was good.
Therapy. Now, the next person's going to be a little bit easier, and it's just going to get easier and easier until you
fall down 99, get up 100.
Yeah, exactly. No, fall down 100, get up. No. How do you fall down 99 and get up 100?
The 100th time, get up. Does that make sense?
But you haven't fallen down. If you said it would be because it's like if you're 99, like you're falling down 99, you're not going to get.
Why
up.
are you poking holes in my story?
Because you're already up. If you've gotten up on the 99, you're already up.
Look, I don't write the script. I just tell the story, doll. I just tell the story. I don't know.
Sorry, it's getting late.
Can you please move your hands out of the way? I know you're scared and you're protecting your root chakra, but just let me in.
We're both delusional at this point. The podcast is falling apart.
The snozberries tastes like snozberries. I reckon it's getting better.
Oh my god.
Alright, what do you want to know?
What do I want to know?
You can ask.
What are you scared of?
Fucking everything. No, I've worked on that. Not everything. What am I scared of? I'm scared of not being able to financially support my family. That's a big fear of mine. That's why I work so hard.
Is that why you're worried about getting someone to come and help because you think they might mess it up?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess so. Yeah, but then that's like someone else that I have to take care of then, you know? I got to pay them a wage and it's like, well, fucking that's just adding more fuel to the fire. I know. I got to bring this up in therapy. What's your biggest fear?
Hurting people that love me unintentionally.
Oh, see, I don't ever feel like I do that. Or is that me just being obnoxious? Oh my god, now I have a new fear. New fear unlocked. Have you unintentionally hurt someone that you love?
Yeah.
Why? What did you do? Butt stuff?
Oh, wow.
Just trying to lighten.
Well, yeah, lighten the
Yeah.
mood. I guess to put it briefly, it's like I did things that I thought were right at the time
Yeah.
that weren't.
Yeah.
And it affected someone in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't mean, I did it, but I didn't, you don't mean to do something in the way of how it's going to be perceived, but you're trying to just do the right thing for you, but then people that do care about you do get hurt.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm always scared of doing that. I guess that's what I said before about I try my hardest to be so transparent and so honest, and so this is me, so that it's like nothing is hidden, but that still is, no matter what you say. And it's this whole idea that it's like you can say what you want, but your actions are going to try to change how the person actually sees what you're saying. And it's like you can say all this stuff and then have certain actions and then they make their own assumption of what you actually mean by what you're saying. And it's like, what I'm saying is the truth. And like, yes, my actions may seem different to that, but what I'm saying is still the truth.
But you can't manage their feelings. You can only carry your own.
Yeah.
So you can't help them deal and process and feel. Like trying to carry other people's emotions is just going to weigh you down. So you just do you. And don't be scared, because you're a great fucking human and your intentions are pure. If you're a shit cunt and you're doing things out of spite, then be scared of fucking up. But you're a genuine person with good intentions, and you're alright, eh? You'll be fine.
I don't know.
If that's your biggest fear, you're fucking killing it, doll. You're absolutely killing it. I love that for you. because that's something that you can work on, you know, like that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy street. Got that in the bag.
I think it's like the whole idea of self-sabotaging yourself.
Oh, I love that, eh? It's my favourite fruit.
Through your own traumas and issues, you've got you self-sabotage and hurt other people because of that.
Self-sabotaging is fucked. I always don't feel worthy of anything, so I'll just start like...
poking holes in it.
Yeah. I'll just cut myself at my Achilles heel and just fall on the ground.
Oh no, not again.
Yeah.
We're here again.
What do you do to stop self-sabotaging? Have you worked on that or worked through that?
I think so in some... It's funny how we talked about before we started recording, how it's like people come into your life to teach you things, and a lot of time you got to go through a lot of pain to actually really feel those lessons, and you come out the other side going, I'm not going to do that again because I don't want to feel that again. Mm-hmm. And I guess when you feel that pain, you've got to sit in it and go, well, why did this happen? And why do I not want it to happen again? And I guess coming back to that whole idea is like, if you feel something, be open and honest about it. And if someone actually listens to you and what you're saying and believes you, then it's like, well, if they agree with you and they do want to be with you or be a part of that, then that's the right person. If they don't, then that's the right that's not the right person, so you know as well. So it's having that transparency and honesty that I think will carry you through that.
It's a win-win because, being open and honest, you're going to get what you demand. And then if you're being open and honest and you lose that person, well, you're still winning because you don't want that in your life. You know, that was always going to end badly no matter what happens.
Yeah.
If you lose someone by telling the truth, they're not supposed to be in your life. They do you a favour. You know, like for so long I was always so sad. When I started to love myself and level up, fuck me, I lost so many friends. Everyone, like, turned on me. They're like, oh, you're so fucking into yourself. Like, she's so toxic. And I was like, no, I'm just honest. And I love myself. And I'm saying no to all the shit that I used to do for you. Like, I'm just pulling back my energy. And when I stopped serving everyone, they just fell away. They literally just started dropping like flies. And I was like, why does everybody hate me? Why am I so alone? And now it's because
you probably needed to be.
Yeah. And now I love being alone. And I look back at those relationships and I'm like, fuck me. I was getting so used and abused. And when I stopped serving them, I was no longer of value. So yeah, they did me a favour. But at the time it was so painful. But yeah, like you said, you have to sit in it. It's uncomfortable. You just got to run scared through that storm.
Buffalo are coming back.
Yeah.
What's something in your life that you're actively ignoring that you know you need to stop ignoring and deal with?
My health. I need to eat better. Yeah, so I do this thing where I binge eat. So sometimes when I'm feeling a kind of way, I'll just mindlessly eat. And I'm like, oh, fuck, shouldn't have done that. That's a big thing right now. There's a heap of stuff. What was the question again?
What's something in your life that you're actively avoiding?
It's a great question.
And you need to stop avoiding.
It's a great fucking question. I've really, started to do the hard stuff. I would avoid absolutely fucking everything because I was scared of everything. Whereas I've started to tackle those big things, and I'm knocking through the list. I'm really working through some stuff, and so much good has come of it. It's so crazy. All the stuff that I was scared to do and I was avoiding, when I start hitting it head on, it's actually really satisfying when I can get through on the other side. Stop touching it.
I didn't touch it. Touch it.
You're so funny. What are you avoiding?
Taxes.
Dude, do you know what's super funny? Is that was the one thing that I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it because you said it. So I was avoiding it for so fucking long because I was super scared. Dug my head in the sand. I had the same accountant as mum and dad that I've had my whole entire career. But he's an incredible accountant, but he just does, school teachers and builders. So people that go to work and have a normal job. I'm not a normal person. I do heaps of weird shit. I do film, I do television, I'm influencing, I'm tattooing. So it's like all these, it's like I don't know what I am. And so like he wasn't understanding what I was. And so like I was always like getting hit with like really, really big bills and I was like fucking struggling. And then I was really embarrassed about it. I was like, why the fuck am I not financially in a better position? Like I was so embarrassed. And I just opened up to one of my friends because I got hit with a massive bill and I just broke down. I was like, I can't fucking afford this shit. Like, I'm working the hardest I've ever worked and I'm being penalized. Like, I'm being taxed through my dick hole because I'm working harder. And then he was like, oh, I'll get you onto mine. And so he set me up with his accountant, changed my fucking life. He understood the assignment. He knows what I do for work. He works with a lot of he works with like really successful people and like athletes and like influencers, and so he understands this world, and he would coach me through it because I was like crying. I was like, I'm fucking going under, man. Like my life is over. And he's like, no, it's not. We're just gonna reconfigure a few things. And he's like, in a year's time, we'll be back on your feet. And just his jolly attitude and like telling me that I'm not gonna die has like fully transformed my life. And he sorted everything out for me. And like, I don't understand how to do any of that shit. Do you need that fixed?
I don't know if I do, but...
No, don't worry about it. Unless it's annoying you. But yeah, once you actually fucking hit it head on and work through it, like, it's not scary anymore.
No, I know what you mean.
It's just that we're not educated on that shit. Like, I didn't learn any of it in school, or if I did, I was away that day.
No one did.
Or I wasn't paying attention, because I was, in love every 3 seconds. I've always been a lover. I've always been obsessed with someone.
Maybe you need a lover girl.
I need a lover girl. But the thing is, this is the first time that I'm actually chilling. Like, I'm not in love with anyone except for my family and myself. Normally, but see, that's the thing. I usually get into relationships to avoid myself. Because if I'm in a relationship, I can just give my all to them, I don't have to work on myself. Yeah. Now I'm alone. Fuck, man. I have to deal with myself every day, It's noisy in here. Fucking, all I do is talk shit. So I'm trying to, like,
It's like the distraction of other people is stopping you from actually focusing on what you need to do for you.
100%. And so I started fucking hitting that on. Like, Great White Buffalo, straight into it. Who am I? What is the meaning of life?
The episode's just going to be called How to Be the Great White Buffalo.
Can it please?
Yeah.
Can it fucking please? New life motto. Have you seen Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yes, I think so.
Where he's like, Great White Buffalo, Great White Buffalo. I can't even remember the storyline now. But there's something about a Great White Buffalo. I think
are the Great White Buffalo.
Thank you.
Run into that storm.
Yeah. I think he's like super high or something, and he's like talking about a Great White Buffalo. Fuck, I'm butchering this story.
Yeah.
I don't really remember. Did you point something out? Where were you looking?
No, I was on the other one. You got it.
Oh, I got it?
Yeah, you
got him. Look, yeah. Do you want to finish this tattoo?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to do it?
No.
You want it? That'd be kind of fun.
I just want it to be finished. I'm sore.
Okay. Where are you done?
Why is there so much black white stuff on this guy? I don't know about that.
Say that again.
It just seems like there was a lot more. Don't worry. I'm just...
Do you feel like there's more black in this than this?
No, just like around it.
Oh, because my thing was dirty. Yeah. Wow, I'm really sorry. Do you want me to clean it off? Wow, you're a tough client. I'm sorry it's messy. Why do you hate me? Okay, we're done. We're done. You're done.
Last question.
Yeah, go.
How do you want to be remembered?
Oh my God, I want to be remembered for being kind and like brightening people's day. I want to be like fun. When I die, I hope they're like, fuck, she was funny. She was a good time. Like, yeah, she's a can do anything kind of gal. Always a good time. Always a good time. And then put on some like, love bad bitches, that's my fucking money, or some like hectic rap song.
Kendrick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like us.
They not like us. They not like us. Yeah. I met this guy last night. His name was Paul. And then he was like...
He was like Kendrick.
Paul Bearer. And I was like, lost it because no one else got it. And I was just like, can you come to my funeral and just carry me down the fucking aisle? But I honestly feel like I'm going to live forever. I do. You know, just
Yeah.
I've got so much to
Technology's
do.
Technology's getting there. Technology's getting there.
Yeah. All right, sweet chicken pie.
Amazing.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Love
you.
you too.
It was amazing.
Oh my god.
Anytime you want to get hurt, come on back.
Oh my god.
Come on down.
Oh.